So when we were talking about the Diddy thing, as far as like him getting his house raided and stuff, um, one of the things that was kind of addressed, but kind of like one of the big talking points is, you know, him and his sexual preference. And I think a lot of people where they were really trying to find the line is like everybody's so used to like Diddy being around women all the time because he was flying women in to do certain things. Mm-hmm. But what people weren't understanding is that there was also dudes in the mix, so his sexuality has been thrown into question, and that's the reason why a lot of the stories having some sort of run is not the fact that he's just getting raided and it's sex trafficking. It's not just girls because he's probably sex trafficking the girls to come in, but it's guys in the mix too. And I think the whole gay and lesbian conversation comes into play too.
So you're saying that he participated in sodomy?
Oh, I guarantee stinking to you. Because you got to understand, a lot of people, and I think this was addressed, but I'll address it in this way.
One more thing. Is he being accused, or is it like speculation, or is it just both?
It's a little bit of both, and it's very high speculation because when you see some of the videos and him addressing like other dudes and calling other dudes daddy and all this stuff, and you'll hear it. I ain't gonna put on those clips in there.
Because in his world, it's not that much of a stretch.
That's the thing I was trying to get to. It's like Hollywood. People, when I say Hollywood, I mean the music, entertainment, movie industry, even in certain aspects of the podcast world and other, any type of forms of entertainment. More and more, the conversation piece is, the sexual connotation about people, who they are, who they associate with. You're getting a lot of that. And I think that's where a lot of the story has legs. I know 50 was mad because the mother of his child was one of the ones that Diddy paid off to go hang out, which is kind of crazy, but that's how small of a world it is. But with them, it's like when you have money and you have access and stuff that we think is like out of the ordinary, like, oh, this is kind of crazy. It's regular to them. When we get one female, it's like, okay, we got one female, great. When they get, two females, like, dog, you got two females at the same time? That's how these people think. It's like, it'd be like, ooh, you got two females. It's like the talking point for regular people, but for them, it's nothing to them. They can get two or three.
You just answered your own question. It's money. When you got the money, you got, you
got money, you got access. But what's the thing is, there's people with money and their sexuality is not necessarily in question. If that makes sense, because they're not sitting up there like, well, I'm just gonna pull up on dudes and girls alike and just whatever.
Well, then too on that, because some of them just keep it to themselves.
A lot of
them, you won't know. That's another thing.
Yeah,
you can have your suspicions, yeah, but at the same time,
okay, but they tend to
if they show it,
they'll tell on themselves.
Oh yeah,
they'll tell on themselves because at some point in time you're gonna leave. So one of the things was I was listening to a podcast. Shout out to Joe Budden. I was just listening to them a few minutes ago, and they were talking about Jerrod Carmichael. He's a comic.
Yeah,
and they were talking about he has a comedy. Good dude. He has the Jerrod Carmichael show.
That was a good show.
But he also has a new show. It's on HBO. He just dropped the first episode.
Did you watch his HBO original?
That's what they were talking about.
Not the new one, the other one.
Oh, the comedy, comedy show. The comedy showcase was cool.
Yeah.
Like his comedy stand up is straight, but that's not where I was getting to. He has a new show. In this show, he, like I said, it's kind of like the Truman Show. What he does, he has cameras all over the place, and he just kind of just films his life, Truman Show style, right? But when I tell you about people telling on themselves, start here. If you looked at Jerrod Carmichael, you saw a lot of the stuff leading to, before I get to this point, who do you think he would like, girls or guys?
I have no idea who this is. So.
I know you don't. That's why I'm asking.
I say girls.
You would have thought he would have been like, oh, you saw a show, you saw a stand-up, you would think, oh, he just rocks with girls. No. Because he started telling himself. In this new show that he has, I haven't even watched it yet, but I've been hearing it, and they show clips of it. He actually is telling on himself like, oh, I'm gay. You wouldn't know that. and he's already has a dude that he's in tow with. He likes other rappers. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but
so
he's starting to tell. But Hollywood tends to tell on themselves a lot.
But is he backpedaling?
He's trying. He can't backpedal because he's put.
But is he trying?
No, what he was doing is trying to hide it at first, and now all of a sudden, this is his way of trying to introduce people. Like, because if it doesn't go well, let's say it backfires on him, he can always backpedal it and say.
That'd be the most shocking thing if it did.
But for him,
no, he could backpedal and be like, oh, it was just for comedy. It was just for show. He could kind of hide behind the show, knowing that this is who he is in real life.
But then here's my question: if this is the point that you have to use a platform just to say, you know what, I'm a comedian, but also I have a different kind of lifestyle, but only way I can show it to the world, let me put it in my show.
Stop.
You think that?
Stop. Yes, you're not. You're absolutely right. But stop. Isn't this what y'all do on TikTok and Instagram all the time?
That was leading up.
Isn't this what we do?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not necessarily. You put what you are out there.
Yeah.
But see, you try to ease it in there, and then if it blows up in your face, then they'll be like, "Oh, I was just joking," because they try to ease off of it because you're trying to test the water, right?
Just like the other comedian, what's her name? I forgot, but she's fully gay, but
yeah.
she even had her own show. She said
Ellen DeGeneres is one of them.
Not Ellen DeGeneres. She black, but she funny. I forgot her name, but
a lot of them try to ease.
She didn't ease it out. She full on bloody said it in her TV. I'm truly lesbian to the day I die.
Right.
I have no shame to tell the world. I want everybody to know this.
Right.
That way, if they gonna criticize me on a different way, at least I was upfront on that.
Right. And the reason why I say that is because now you're like, because of the whole, how the industry is starting to work,
mm-hmm.
and because of how social media is, now you got people just trying to like sneak their way into showing who they really are. And like I said, people tell on themselves. You'll find out who a person really is. Just stick around long enough. They'll show you. Go ahead. But that leads into what we wanted to kind of talk about, because
that being,
you're talking about, preferences and all this stuff. And the first thing I will tell y'all is, like, everybody has their preferences, their likes and their dislikes. And, when it comes to, like, different things, people, they'll term it differently, Similar term. People say, oh, well, this may be a fetish, per se. Fetish is just a similar term to preferences.
Well, yeah, the difference
or
is,
what you like. It's just you use it in certain contexts to change the definition. Like you said, oh, well, my fetish is video games. It kind of takes on a different connotation to, well, I like video games, or I would prefer to play video games versus like going outside and playing football.
I think the problem is because the word fetish has become so sexually charged.
Yes.
The word fetish, it just means it means great enjoyment or great like of it. That's all it really means. It's not a 100% accurate description, but that's what it means. It's a heavy, very enjoyment of something. That's what fetish means. Nowadays, the word fetish is so sexually charged that you can't use it without it being indicated towards something sexual.
Right, because
so when they hear that word, they automatically think, oh, so it's a sexual thing, even though it doesn't, on a technical basis, no, that's not what it means. Like you said, fetish for video games, that's a completely normal sentence, right? It's like the word gimp, right? You hear that word, this is mostly due to this is mostly the fault of the movie Pulp Fiction, but gimped just meant you couldn't walk right.
Right.
You had like a bum leg or something. You couldn't walk right. But because of that movie, gimp now has completely new
right.
And it's something entirely sexual. Typically, funnily enough, a lot of these words, they get hijacked by being perceived as solely sexual, which is really not the case. A lot of words aren't like that. It's the human. This is pretty much a human language problem. The human language has a lot of problems. I'm glad that I speak it, but still, I can see a lot of problems with it. Specifically that how we have too many words but not enough words. What I mean by that is we have too many useless words and not enough important words that mean more things. For instance, we only have one word for love, yet we have many definitions of love, and that does not really work.
Right.
You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm straying a little bit.
No.
Okay, you're okay.
That was a
But
good.
no, but I get what you're saying, because this is why I said, because it's always, words always goes into another word, which goes into context. What you're saying is, like, when you hear the word fetish in particular, you don't hear it in no other context in regular conversations unless it's in a sexual thing. And then when you put it out there, the first thing you associate with it is sex, because you be like, well, it's a fetish.
But then too, just like Victor said, words can be described in a different term. But when you hear that particular word, people automatically assume, oh, he must be talking about sex. But they don't know what that word
or
means.
Or sexual connotation.
Yeah. But then when you're like, well, just because I'm saying fetish doesn't mean I'm using it as a sexual preference, sexual term. No. I'm just saying you like the certain little thing, a fetish thing, or
it's the very limited vocabulary that we utilize on a day-to-day. So, it's crazy, and I'm gonna take it in a slightly different direction. So, walk with me for a second.
Well, real quick, just to read the definition of the word. There's a couple definitions here, but I'll read these. So the first one, and this goes back to what we were saying, or how most people think of it. It's a noun, a form of sexual desire in which gratification is strongly linked to a particular object or activity or a part of the body other than the sexual organs, right? That's the top definition. That's not what it also. That's not
that first word. That first word was
wow.
Right. Yeah.
It also means an excessive and irrational devotion or commitment to a particular thing, or another, an inanimate object worshipped for its supposed magical powers, or because it's considered to be inhabited by a spirit.
Shut up.
You know why I'm laughing.
Shut up.
You know why I'm laughing.
I know.
And there are some similar words such as fixation, obsession, juju.
That's what, that's where I was trying to lead in. That's what I was trying to lead into.
That last part.
No. The third definition is more
inanimate object worshipped.
Yeah. So that's where it becomes.
That's where you get people.
That's where you becomes a little bit tricky. This is why it becomes like
one word. It becomes 3 definitions.
Right, but this is where it becomes more than what it is. This is why I said walk. This is why I said walk with me for a second. We are big on like adding words and changing the definition of words as we go along. Pause, something like that.
Now, I think this is very important to.
But what I'm saying is that we are so used to that and not really going through and doing exactly what you just
did. The research,
yeah. If you did the research on some of these words, you will understand that in what context am I using this word? Because the problem is, and this is a bad on the English language, is that yes, you got one word, 3 minimum completely different types of definitions to that.
Not to cut off. I just got a message from my good buddy Dirty Joe. May 26th or June 2nd. It's a Sunday.
Tell Dirty Joe June 2nd.
June 2nd. It is. Okay. Go back.
So for the people on the podcast, y'all know what's happening next. June 2nd, Dirty Joe hitting the deck with us. Anyway, so 3 words, one word, 3 definitions. A lot of it comes into context. And that's where I think a lot of people get wrong when they use words and even when they speak. Context.
Now,
what the word means, what the actual definition is.
We have to reiterate, we're speaking solely for English. We can't talk about any other language.
Correct.
This is solely for the English lexicon. Nothing else. Spanish do not apply.
And this is where it becomes even more important, because when you have people who come in from foreign countries who are just dropping in and we're using words the wrong way, what do you think we're teaching them the wrong way? What happens in school when you got teachers who don't go through all the definitions and only teach the definition in one form or fashion? This is all you know.
Yeah,
it's part of it. It's a teaching thing.
I mean, you got that poor transferred student from overseas, and he thinks bussin's a real word.
Right. Because
wait, what?
Bussin.
The way you pronounced it was hilarious.
No, but what I'm saying is that we, like I said, we try to add, we, especially as the black community, try to add a lot of slang words into the definitions.
Well, you can't,
no, I get it.
Can't help you.
No, I know you can't help it. But here's the problem. We're more concerned about putting slang on something versus learning what the definitions of actual words are.
Give me the definition. What's
come
on, Cam. Come on.
We're not doing this today. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. Yeah, I'm not trying to prove blackness today.
I'll give you
I mean, I can, but I ain't trying to do this today.
That's gonna be a long story.
Now,
but that's where I say we gotta get better in
in
learning the words and actually understanding what they mean.
Not to apply, but to add on what you're kind of saying here, right now in this current day and age, we are having a crisis of the English language of sorts because words are losing their meanings, they're losing their definitions, and they're losing their definitiveness. Right, this really has to do with the transgender movement, as in they're trying to remove the definitive definition of both male and female, right, which they're fixed words. This is primarily due to the fact that words do not affect reality, but reality affects words, right? So words themselves do not have power,
right?
But besides the word of God, but that's wholly something else. But human words, human definitions, these do not have the ability to affect reality as in changing it. As in suddenly calling a male a female does not make him female. He will always be male because that's how the Lord decided to make him. And the Lord makes no mistakes. Right? And because humanity is steeped in deep rebellion against God, they will do anything and everything to just kind of make everything topsy-turvy. You can't really argue with this. Just look at just look at the government, look at society as a whole, look at what they're teaching in schools. It's all just backwards. And this is all started with language, or specifically this all started with perverting and ruining the definitions of simple words such as male and female. Right? When you're able to change something so definitive and convince people that you can do that, then a lot of other things are off the table. I mean, are on the table, not off the table, on the table to be perverted, to be changed, right? Whether it be adding or taking away words, right now what it seems like they want to be doing is just saying it's all fluid.
No, that's the answer. They're not trying to change said definition. What they're trying to do is make it like it's more choice driven, if that makes sense. So I prefer to be addressed as this, even though I prefer to be addressed as a female, but I'm a male.
Now
that's what you're getting. You're getting a lot of preferences, and people are like, well, we can't go against what a person prefers because they have the human right to prefer what they want to prefer, versus being upfront and telling them you're a guy, period. That's how you were born. You were born a guy. Be that. We're so used to trying to make everybody accept it without hurting their feelings. But sometimes to get growth, you're going to have to hurt somebody's feelings to get growth. Does that make sense?
Well, the whole thing about that is it's a sin to lie, and to lie to their face by going along with the fairy tale that they believe what they believe and they want to be called that. That's lying. I can't participate in that due to conviction, and for the love of Christ, I will not participate in that. People will call that bigotry and hateful, but it's more hateful to go along with the delusion. These people need help, and no, they don't need help in getting surgery. They need help in finding God. They're lost. A lot of people are lost. It's not just these people, but we're talking about them specifically, but a lot of people are just lost, and because they're lost, they have nothing to stand on. See, I mean, the horrific thing is that this life is all that they have.
it's you know what's funny, and I'm gonna kind of sideways it, but it's gonna kind of tie in. And I kind of let off what I let off with a little while ago. We put so much value, especially in the U.S. We put so much value in sex that almost nothing else matters. We almost put more value in sex than we do into money or anything else. We value money, yes.
You know,
But I'm gonna tell you, the people at the top, when you get to the money, you know what they value even more than that? Sex. This is literally what got Diddy in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the fact that it was a money thing, because he had money.
you know, the horrific
He's a
thing is-
billionaire, but it was the
Sex,
sex
yeah.
that really crippled everybody, and that's why I'm like, you got access to women, plural. If you just do what you do, marry one.
You know, the sad thing is just to show how twisted and fallen humanity is. Like you said, here in the West, we're talking about the West people. I can't speak of all the world
But this is
right now.
you
But
see
it can
kinda-
apply.
It applies a lot.
It can apply, but just know we're speaking of the West currently. But what I'm trying to say is that just to show how wicked mankind is that you're right. They worship sex, but sex has the ultimate goal of bringing forth life. But mankind hates hates life
you're
so
wrong,
much.
brother.
No,
No,
and that's
hold on,
yeah.
hold
No, you're
on.
right. You're
Hold on,
so
hold on,
right.
hold on. I gotta finish.
Go for it.
Right? Mankind loves sex. They love the act. They love the outcome. They love all that, but they hate the product of it, and that is human life.
You
How do I know
so
that?
right.
How do I know that? Because untold numbers of innocent blood have been spilled in this country in the form of abortion. Abortion is murder. It's murder. What is sex? But the creation of new life, especially when there's conception. Life begins at conception. And, you know, it's like, you know, it's
I know. My
No.
boy preaching. He
No, I got it. But look,
everything-
can I get in real quick? I'm gonna let you go.
just 2 seconds.
Go.
Life begins at conception, right? The minute sperm meets egg, that's a human being. And they
That's
are
true.
killed daily. Why? Because sex is their god.
Right.
And
So
that child's gonna get in the way of that.
people are so quick to have sex, but they do not want to be married and have kids and create life the right way. They want the sex. I'm gonna go out there and be tricky, and you hear this from guys and girls alike. Guys, I want to have as many girls as I can. I don't want to be married. I just want to be able to hit as many girls as I can. You hear this all the time. Now you got women talking about, well, I don't want to have no babies right now. I want to be with as many dudes out here as I possibly can. You get it from both sides now. At first it was just kind of one-sided,
It was men.
and now it's both-sided. And so now you got a whole generation who really don't want to, they don't want to be married, for one. I don't want to be married. I don't want to be attached to married. None of that stuff. They ain't trying to find a wife. They want to try to find somebody who they could just
Have
be
a good
there,
time with.
take care of them, do all the stuff that married people should do. But at the first time of adversity, they want to dip. So a lot of women get mad because a lot of women. No, so follow me. A lot of women.
Ooh, I can't believe
A lot of women will sit there and be like, they're out there, they're with these dudes, they're out there 22, 23, 24, with all these dudes, getting freaky deaky, going to the Diddy parties, no Diddy, going to the Diddy parties, then all of a sudden they come up pregnant. Woe is me, now I'm pregnant, now I'm damaged goods, now I need somebody to go at, take care of me and the baby. And then they turn around, now they want to find a good dude after they have a baby, after they was out there getting ran up on by 10, 12, 14, 16, 20 dudes,
Been there,
get a
done
baby, and then all of a sudden, now they want to be like, now I want to settle in after they did all the dirt.
Now, you said something that caught my ear. You said, now I'm damaged goods.
Yep.
Right?
it. Of course.
The sad thing is they were always damaged and they were never good.
From jump. And they don't understand from jump, and they don't
But
understand.
that's a lot of people.
And that's-
It's
and-
not.
No, that's
practically
just
everyone.
everybody. No, that's real. And I'm not saying that all of us did this perfectly. a lot of us haven't, and
Yeah.
I'm literally speaking from experience
Well,
at this
yeah,
juncture.
it's like, you gotta get
I've
through
been there, done that. Yeah,
you gotta get through your head. You've been damaged from the get-go, and you've never been good.
But here's the thing. Then why get married then?
No, because again, because people,
I mean,
no,
right there,
no,
make what you just
no,
said.
no,
I
say,
totally
no,
agree
no,
with you.
say, no. Let me get him because he said it exactly right. Because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Everybody knows what the right thing to do is. They already know. Because they know, most women and even guys know, the ultimate goal is to have a family, have kids, and grow and, go through it. They know this.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't want to go that path. Because they want to kind of convince themselves in their head is that, well, I know it's right, but I still want to be like what these other people are doing. Because I see all these people on TikTok and Instagram.
It don't work for everybody.
It doesn't work for none of them. Because here's what happens. You see them right now in their 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 doing all this tricking. Y'all ain't seen the fast forward of it when they're 10 years from now, when they're 30-something, and then they're like, well, I can't really get to none of the dudes.
Well,
I can't do this. I can't really get married.
But you just said something really important. The 18 and 22 year versus the 30.
No, because they're going in with that mindset, and you shouldn't, even when you're 18, 19, 20, you shouldn't have the mindset of just being out there just for sake of being out there. One of the things that I hate talking about this, but one of the things that the red pillars, I hate saying like that, but I'm gonna go with them. I'm gonna go with them. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this. One of the things that they say about their women that they like is they rather them have very few people whom those women have interacted with or had sex with or whatever it may be, because they want them as quote unquote pure as possible. Well, not from just a sexual standpoint, if that makes sense, but more so because of you don't want them to have all that type of guy interaction, just like relationship after relationship after relationship, because if the relationship fails, the more failures that they have, the more mentally damaged they start to become, and then that starts to weave into who they are when they're older, because it's all what they know.
You said it right when you said it's not purely sexual, it's more of a mental thing.
Yes.
Obviously, yeah. I mean,
that's part of it.
They would, yes. I would argue it's half of it.
Yeah.
But the other half is, like you said, it's a mental thing, to where the more men she's had interactions with, even if it's like just male friendships, we're not even talking about sex at this point, just male friendships, or even a guy, they're not guy and guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Jerrod Carmichael.
Yeah, but what I mean is, they may become more, what's the word I'm looking for?
They're tainted.
Dependent.
I doubt that.
Not
for guys.
Tainted and no, you are.
No, it's dependent and
dependent, yeah, but the guy,
in a bad way, yes. The guy becomes too dependent on the girl, and the woman would be too dependent on herself. Therefore, both relationships would crumble. Because don't get me wrong, yes, a partner should lean upon one another.
Yes.
That is good. But when you're throwing your whole body weight on them like they're God, that's why your relationship's going to fail, because they can't even carry themselves. And you expect them to carry your whole weight, and then you're surprised that they come to resent you.
Ooh, you said that shit real perfect.
No,
right?
because
No, hold on, almost done. Hold on, raise your hand.
I did.
but in all seriousness, and the same thing go for the woman, where I've experienced all these guys, and every time I've depended on them and it's ended in failure, or I've broke up with them, I'm going to depend on myself. Some variation of that, and these relationships don't work. I can understand why they want some girl of purity, but conservatism has a lot of problems. In a really strange way, conservatism has become it's become a form of religion. It's a false religion, but still it's become a form of religion, where I want to be everything that the left is not, therefore I will be everything that is the right. Right. And they think that because it's on the right, it's right. But it's not. Conservatism can be just as bad as the left.
Facts.
In terms of false doctrine, false religion, it's moralism, and moralism has taken many people to hell, because moralism is just okay, I behave good, therefore I am good. That's not how it works. That's not how it is. There's nothing wrong with good behavior. There's nothing wrong with being good. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that's a problem, but the problem is just thinking that because I'm good, therefore God must be happy with me.
No, because that has nothing to do with it. Go.
But you said something too was very important, though, Vic. But for the most part, and I see this a lot too, and I've ran across this. When you with somebody, female and generally, when
I would hope so.
don't, I can't believe you said that.
I
You
still
know
love
what I'm
you,
saying.
but,
I'm not saying. I said
I
I'm
have
using
to-
female
I
and
know,
generally.
I had to.
What they do,
I'm just throwing
not
you
what
off.
they
Boy,
do.
get.
Female and generally.
I'm not gonna find that positive.
No.
Stupid.
I
know. I got it off film. I was like, you
You got me
stupid.
all paused. Okay, from a woman's standpoint, from a woman's standpoint, they don't really tell them what they really want. They expect it, but then when it get to a point where they get too much, then they feel like they're being shallow. They're like, okay, I know you're a good dude. I know you're doing this a lot for me, but can I at least have a break? Okay, what do you need a break for?
Oh, so that's a little bit different conversation, but I'll address that too.
Yeah.
So allow me.
Go for it.
So so you're asking for two different things. So what you're thinking is that, once they kind of crossed over and did all so the woman's trying to get right, and then you give them what they want, and you think that it's not, and they say, well, I want a break, or it's not enough. It's a lot of it goes back to what we were trying to address, and I'm gonna get to what you said right now, because they're both paired with each other. The more people you're with, as far as like in a relationship or whatnot, the more residual effects that has on you. Meaning that you always have in the back of your head like the goods and bads of every single relationship. I could rattle off every single relationship I've been in verbatim, almost in order, from the 6th grade, from Carol, to my current wife now. Yes.
That's no.
Not
joking
no.
on that.
I'm dead. I'm dead.
That's good.
I could
That's good.
No, but here's the good and
That
bad.
is good.
Here's the good and bad behind that. Because I have that in tow. I know what happened in the 6th grade, and I know why we broke up. Does that make sense? Even in the 6th grade. And the reason why I say that is because
that's power right there. No, right there.
It's a good and a bad thing. It's a good thing because I could always reference it and be like, here's how I could do to be better. But here's the kicker to that. I know what it's like. I knew what it's like to feel that way. Meaning that I knew why me and Carol broke up. I knew who she went to the date next. And there was a residual effect behind that even as a kid. So if I felt that.
You broke up because you didn't want to go Christmas caroling?
No. We broke up because I wasn't there enough, and I was just a kid. I was just a kid. No, we were just a kid. It was the 6th grade.
Everybody has.
No, walk me to the next period.
But here,
Cameron.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Cameron.
But here's the thing: you're learning. More or less. First of all, shout out to Carol back in the day. She,
But no, I totally agree with you.
But what I'm saying is that because you remember those things.
Wait, I'm talking about what?
Pictures. I'd love to see pictures.
I'll show you. I told you. At some point when we get a chance,
you ever wear braces?
No, I didn't wear braces.
Wow.
But at some point, I will show y'all. I'll bring out the junior high and elementary and high school yearbooks and stuff, and I will show you all of them. Some of them are still cool even today.
But can I ask you?
I remember these things because So if it affect me, and I understand, like, this is what happened when I was with her. This is what happened when I was with her. This is the reason why I kind of shifted gears. And here's the reason why I said, So I shifted gears for a period. Here's how I shifted gears. I'm gonna tell y'all. This is a little bit about me. Y'all should really know. So in junior high, or from elementary school, from Carroll, basically going into high school. Mm-hmm. Ladies, don't take this the wrong way. black girl, black girl, black girl, black girl, black girl. Stop.
Hammer time.
Yes, more or less. I get to
camera time or hammer time?
I get to high school,
really?
and then my perspective changed,
Yeah.
and I started dating white girl, Spanish, white girl, white girl,
now,
white
let
girl,
me
white
ask
girl,
you
Spanish.
one question. What you just said, because I've done
But
that too.
I want you to ask me the question.
No,
Go ahead.
So, was it?
Ask the question.
So, what made you jump from?
Now you ask. I feel like I'm an
okay.
iRobot. I'm like the old white guy.
You know what question I'm gonna ask.
So why did I change?
Yeah.
So, from a perspective point of view, because of the residual effects of dating these black girls, and it has really some to do with them,
that's why I'm asking this question.
but none to do with them.
I'm sorry, the way.
Okay.
Because if you saw the how they were, how we responded to each other, how it looked to other people, how the confines of the relationship, even in elementary and junior high school. I got to high school, and I still even in high school, because in my head, this is what I was taught. You were only supposed to date black women.
Let me ask you this.
And then I'm the one who changed the perspective.
Now,
even though I did and here's the thing, I did pass a good chance
How's
of
it
that
feel to be a
relationship.
Pathfinder?
Oh, that's a good question.
That is a good
question.
question.
You asking that's a good one. It was I've been a force.
That's a good ass question, Victor.
For people who know me from church, I've been a forerunner since birth.
Okay, so
and people in my church will know that reference.
Now let me ask you this question, because I can relate to that, because I've dated out of my race in high school. Did you get any side eyes or get any problems from other people from school for that?
Yes, because you want to know why? Because I was at the time when right now it's a lot more accepted than what it was then.
Yeah,
it's almost promoted.
Right, but at the time, it was very question mark. They were kind of cool with it, but the black side of it, like all of them, they wasn't so cool with it, but everybody else was. If that makes sense.
But why is that a problem though?
No. But the reason why I say that is because
wait. Now you said the black side, like black guys or black
both,
girls?
Both.
Family or strangers?
Both.
Okay, older or younger?
Both.
Okay.
I'm saying both, and the reason why I say that is because all of the above. So I did tell y'all about when I went. So when I went to I'll fast forward the story a little bit. So when I went to prom with Jennifer, I know. When I went to prom with my girlfriend at the time, Jennifer. Y'all know Jen, we call her Red, white girl, redhead, all that stuff. Told y'all about that. I have the video where my aunt, God rest her soul, because she passed away 2 years ago. Cameron's dating a white girl, all on the camera, all in front of her, in front of her family, by the way, because like I said. Even then, and this was in '93, it was still taboo to a degree. It was still taboo to a degree for a black guy to date a white girl, even in my own family at the time.
I can see how that would have been a problem for you right there.
I broke the mold for the family. I was the first one to date outside the race. But the reason why I say all these things goes back to my original point. I could reference all those things.
Yeah.
I could reference the goods of those things and the bads of those things. So there's a lot of residual effect. So if I have that residual effect, and I can shun a lot of this stuff on and off, so I don't go back there and be like, oh, I wish I was with her. So no. But I know a lot of women on the flip of that coin always reference the first guy who they've been with, the first major breakup. If I could do it and I'm not nearly as emotional, think about some of the females who went through a similar line of people who could rattle off all the people who they did. And I didn't date, and I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't date a lot of people. I mean, probably 12. Yes. You don't have to be happy. You can ask me a real question.
A real question. Okay. Which race did you learn more from?
All of them.
I know you said all, but like
the most.
All of them. Because every person who I dated, I'm gonna be honest with you, all of which had impact. Every single person I dated from Carol to my wife now, always had impact. I learned so much from each and every one of them. I learned from Carol, like how it was when I was young to try to interact and just be around females enough.
Now,
that makes sense?
I had a bit of a. This is a tricky question.
Ain't nothing.
Well, not tricky, but it could be a bit controversial on the topic of how would you feel? This is just a question for both men and women, but still, how would you feel if your current partner, right? Like everything's going well. There's nothing wrong with it or not, but your current partner is reminiscing about a past relationship that they had, and they're remembering it fondly. Granted, yes, they're in the past now, but they're reminiscing about a past lover. What would your feelings on that be?
Can I integrate?
They're with you. They think they're with you. They love you, but they're reminiscing about this past lover. Why? Maybe because it's a special day or something. Maybe something happened that day, and that's why they're reminiscing. But how would you feel about that? Would you feel betrayal? Would you feel hurt? Would you be understanding? Would you want an answer? Would you be jealous? What would it be?
I got the answer, but I'm gonna let you go.
Okay, so
dang,
that's a
he
damn
got
good
he
question.
with the long arm of the.
I know, man. I feel like, but it for that part right there, Vic, what you just said, it can be tricky because when you're in a relationship with somebody, and I ran into this problem when I was married because I used to say this a lot, which I shouldn't have, about my past relationship into now the present. You can't use your past relationship of anything you've done or anything you've done with somebody into the relationship you into now, because reason why I say that, it can reversely turn easily bad on you because they thinking, well, if this person was so good at everything in general, then what are you doing with me? If you keep bringing it up every constant time. So when you out in public, or when you at home, or when you anywhere generally, because if you even in the bedroom situation, you cannot. And I've done this before. You cannot say, well, my past was better than my present.
That's a good way to be single.
Yeah.
No, so the thing is, and you made a good point, but it really comes down to this. If they are that much invested into their past, like their past relationship, whatever, then there's a problem. Yeah, meaning that. So when I told you a few minutes ago that I could rattle off every single girlfriend and all that stuff leading to my marriage now, it's not like I use that as a reference point all the time. Like, oh, I wish I was with Jennifer because of this. Oh, I wish it was me and Tawana because of this. Oh, I wish it was me. No.
Tawana?
Yes, I dated a girl named Tawana.
Huh. Okay.
Anyway, like I said, we'll get. I got questions. I can answer questions. I dated.
I'm not laughing about the Tawana.
I dated a Tawana and a Roshiba. Real names.
Know each other?
No, real names. I dated.
Laquisha?
No. I've dated sisters, like literally one sister to another. I dated that too. I'm being honest.
Bershmuda?
No.
No.
No. But the reason why I say that, I don't use any of that as reference, meaning that I don't be like, well, this person was better. Now I will, but here's what I tend to do from time to time. I tend to use things as a reference point, and I'll be like, well, when this happened, this reminds me of this.
Okay. That's still dangerous too.
It's kind of dangerous, but it's not like it's a.
Well, you're not bringing it up to them. You're just thinking that.
No, a lot of times I'm just thinking it, and a lot of times I will say like, look, oh, I've been through this before. And here's why. But I'm not bringing it up in the thing of, well, this person is doing something wrong. I just let them know, it's like, look, I've been through this. I know what this is like.
But let me ask you a question. But it can go for both sides too. Why are they so fixated on that?
Because a lot of times, sometimes it's not fixation. You got to figure out which one of the two it is. I know with certain women, I know with a lot of women, it is fixation. Because you want to know why? It goes back to the original point I was going to make a few minutes ago. It just hit me right now.
Because reason why I'm not cutting you off. Reason why I say that, because I ran into that problem in my marriage.
I got you. Now, that's why I said allow me to answer, because the answer just hit me while I was talking about it. It's a competition thing. If you ever want to know why, because, and this is the reason why it goes back to what I said a little while ago by why you don't want to have a lot of reference points, because now you have reference points.
Ooh.
And because of those reference points, and especially with women,
Yeah.
with women, we don't keep a lot of times we don't keep account of a lot of these things that happen, but women do. And so women will always keep an account of every single thing, of every part of the relationship. This person did this for me.
Yeah, it's like they have a tracker.
This person did. So they have a running list. And so they think that, well, I got to level up because the last person was this. You got to be so much better than this person. No. That person's for you. No. I'm not. My job is, you'll know if I'm better or not. Just stick around for a little bit. Exactly. I always tell people, I am different. Now, I told y'all, I am Nerd Boy Fresh, and I am the Diet Coke of Hood. I am a different dude. And because I'm a different dude...
Talk that talk, brother.
And but the reason why I say that, because I'm a different dude, you will understand if I'm right for you, because you know that I'm different than most of the people whom you dealt with.
Okay, so I want to go back up a little bit.
But it's a competition.
I want to back up a little bit about that conversation we had with when you brought up conservative guys or not. They want a woman with little to no experience with other men.
Because it goes back to what I said.
There's this very interesting video out there I would recommend watching it by pop culture detective called Born Sexy Yesterday, which is a trope in media, right, where you have a male lead, right, and he comes across this woman who... Okay, do you guys remember...
Who's the actor?
No, it's multiple movies. Okay. But do you remember do you guys remember the movie The Fifth Element?
Mm-hmm.
With Bruce Willis?
Good movie.
Alright, that's an example of Born Sexy Yesterday with the woman with the orange hair.
Oh,
right, where...
Mila Jovovich?
Yes, right, but not the actress. Yeah, but it's a full-grown woman, but she has the naivety of almost a child.
That's correct.
Right.
In the show, in the movie, yes.
Yes, in the movie. But that's what, creepily enough, a lot of guys would want, to where they want a woman who is fully developed, just physically entirely a woman, but they're very naive, right? As into where the man that she's with can sculpt her in a way, mentally speaking. They want to be the first man that they want to be the first and only man that she knows, right? That's very concerning.
I don't know if I want. That's a good point, and you're not wrong. You're not wrong in that regard. Because there's some guys who wants to be the only person to dealt with them ever, physically, mentally, emotionally, life, experience wise. Not just from a sexual experience. I mean, just from a regular. I want to be the first person to take you here. I want to be the first person.
No brothers.
Right.
They want to be the only male in their life.
No. It's not the fact that you don't want to find nobody like that.
I mean, not find nobody like that, but
you can. But here's the problem. You make a good point, fam. This is what got a lot of these people in trouble. You made a very good point. So, here's what got R. Kelly in trouble. He was trying to do the same thing. With who, by the way? Aaliyah. Yeah. Diddy was trying to do the same thing. After Kim Porter, what did he try to do with? He tried it with Jennifer Lopez and kind of worked. But he did it with Cassie, and guess what happened? She kind of fell through with it. And you see how that happened. So, you said something dead on right that happens in Hollywood. I want to be the one to mold and shape these young and impressionables, and that's why you have a lot of these
groomers.
You have a lot of these people who be grooming people super early. This is why Diddy's in the sex trafficking thing, because he's been trying to groom guys and girls alike, apparently, at a very young and impressionable age, where they don't know any different, and all they see is money, glitz, and glam, and he tried to shape them to be the way that they want them to be. So he's grooming them to be well, I'm going to groom you to be the way I want you. Whether it's hypersexual active and no life experience, whatever that looks to them, they want to be that. And that's wrong too. Mm-hmm. Now, in a relationship, you want to be, especially as the guy, you want to be the one to kind of be the head of the household. That means that you lead, you give direction, you teach, you do all that stuff.
No,
that is true.
That's correct, yeah.
That is all to be true. But that doesn't mean that you have to completely be like, well, disregard your pops. Disregard your uncles and disregard. Now, there's some people who want them to do that. Like, basically pull them away from their family and just be me and only me. No, in a marriage, yes, you want some of those male figures to be there.
I ran into that problem.
No, you want some of the male figures to be there because you want to know that she at least had some sort of hopefully positive male experiences in their life. But a lot of times, what you'll come to find out is they may not have been that good. They may have had uncles or brothers who's in jail or a dad who's not there with them, and then they get to you and they'll be like, well, this is what I know. But then they get to somebody like me or like one of y'all and they'll be like, oh, here's where it's kind of different now.
Did anybody, now let me ask you this question because you've been in this situation. Did anybody ever get offended because of your style?
All the time. People, no, good question. People hate. Let me not say that. I am very different than a lot of people.
Okay.
Not everybody rocks with people who are different. And I'm not completely like off the rails different like some of the other people. Yeah. I don't dress like super crazy. I'm not like the one who's like dressed flashy and flamboyant. I'm different. But I'm different on purpose, and not everybody rocks that. And here's the thing. That's okay.
That's okay, yeah.
My thing is that I know that anybody who knows anything about life is, and this is where people get social media wrong, not everybody's going to like you. The more that you rise up, the more that you start to do things, the more people are going to hate what you do. And you're going to learn, you're just starting to learn that now.
I'm starting to really see that now.
Once y'all sat down at this table,
I'm starting to really see that now.
Once y'all sat down at this table and y'all started talking about what y'all really are really about, guess what you're starting to find out? Certain people, a lot of people are going to still rock with you. But there's going to be a handful of them going to start to distance themselves from you. Why? Because you're different.
I made a career about
You're different. I'm different.
I made a career of that.
I know.
People, I'm not here to be like.
But it's okay.
A lot of people don't like me.
What would you rather be?
I'd rather not to be liked than to be something that I'm not.
Right. I'm not going to shape who I am based upon somebody else. I am me all day. I am me all day, every day. I am me because that's how the Lord made me to be. The Lord made me to be Nerd Boy Fresh and made me to Diet Cocoa Hood. My mom, and the reason why I say that is because it was my mom who put me in said positions to make that happen as a single parent mom, by the way. To make sure I was in church. To make sure, definitely. We'll get there in 1 second. Shout out, I can't, because shout out to moms. My mom's birthdays.
We all three of us.
My mom's birthday's in a couple of days, so I definitely got to shout out to my mom. Happy birthday, mom! Salute. But it was my mom who was the one who made sure I was in church. It was my mom who made sure I didn't really go to school in the hood. By the way, I could have went to Dorsey High School. I could have went to a lot of these hood high schools. My mom said no. We're gonna move all the way out to Baldwin Park, California, and go to Sierra Vista Junior High and High School.
I love my mom for that for me because she did not let me go to school.
No. What I'm saying is she made it a point to make sure that I would be different, that I wouldn't be like these other ones who was out here.
And that's a mother intuition because they know right on from the get go. Because if you do something negatively bad right there, she already know. Okay. He can't go here because I already know what this outcome is going to be.
Different venue, different.
I got into one little fight.
Different. No.
Yeah, no. That's basically what happened to me when I was a kid. When I was going to school over there.
It's not a joke.
One fight. Fight.
No, for real.
And then knowing that everybody in that city knows you, that's bad.
You gotta understand. 100%. When I was going to school in Carson, so I was in elementary school. Going to school in Carson. My cousin, who was 1 year older than me.
Don't tell me you wind up in Bel Air.
No. Well, here's kind of the Bel Air story though. My cousin, me and him going to school together. He's 1 year older. I'm 1 year younger. Mm-hmm. He is a founding member of a very prominent gang that is there now. I'm not gonna drop what that is. I don't want that to be out there because I don't promote it or anything like that. Yeah. But what I say behind that is that because of that, and because of situations that happened when me and him were in the same junior high school together, that prompted my mom to say, I have to separate that because even though that because he's family.
Yeah.
It's different. It's not even just like he was my friend. He's family. He's cousin. So if something happens with him, I'm automatically on. Mm-hmm. If something happens with me, he's automatically in. And everybody who's connected to him is in.
Therefore, disengage.
So my mom was like, I had to separate. And the separation wasn't just separate us and go to the... No. That went from Carnegie Junior High School to Sierra Vista Junior High School.
I think that's why me and you we get it on so well because we've been to the same thing. Because when that first fight I had, and my mom knew, and my uncle, I love him to death too over there, and I'm not gonna say where he's from over there, but she already knew.
It wasn't even a fight. Yeah. It was because she knew what my cousin was and how he was associated, and that section of the family that was there, they were all so associated and affiliated. Mm-hmm. She had to separate me. And because she had to separate me, I had to go there. And because of that, that's what gave me the experience to be able to interact and be who I am now. Because again, that didn't just shape who I was, like from a social hanging out with people. That did shape the relationships that I was able to be. Because I still had that hood mindset going into a new environment. So if you want to know why I dated black girl, leading into high school is because I was in front of an elementary and junior high school that basically said it's not acceptable for you to be with,
and around that time,
the girl was like there was a Spanish girl who I liked in junior high school at Carnegie. Her name was Rosemary. Don't ask me how I know all these things, but I could rattle this stuff. But I couldn't be with her because it wasn't looked upon right. I had to separate and go to another junior high school. But because I had that in my head, that translated into the junior high school that I went to.
I got a bit of a question here. Regarding this during your youth with interracial relationships, right? Was it more frowned upon when it was a black guy dating a woman of a different color, or when it was a black woman dating a man of a different color? Who was more scrutinized, black men or black women?
So in my experience, it was more so the black women, but not where I was. So I was.
So they were more scrutinized for dating a different colored man.
So there was a black girl when I was in my junior high. I went to Sierra Vista Junior High School. Shout out to them. There was 4 black girls on that campus. 2 black guys. That was it. So it wasn't like you had much choice in the matter. So it was Roshiba, Tina, Carmen, and I can't think of the other girl off the top of my head. It was 4 of them. I can't think of the other one off the top of my head, but it was them 4.
Pull out your Rolodex.
I'll have to go through my. I will have to go through my junior high yearbook, and I'm sorry who the 4th one I can't remember off the top of my head. But Carmen at the time was the one who.
Just stop the names, Carmen and Cameron.
No. Yeah, she was the one who was dating Lonnie, who was like we were all in band and color guard, and she dated the drum major. His name was Lonnie, and it was like a tall white boy. Cool people. But out of the black girls that were there, she was the prettiest of the bunch. Oh, everybody liked her on campus. I didn't have a shot in the world. Why? Because she was already connected. So I didn't have much choice. Even though there was other girls who liked me. There was another girl named Tina, a little, tiny, tall white girl named Tina. Loved me. I should have dated her in junior high school. I didn't. Because even though we were cool, we would hang out, be friends, she would do all this stuff. No.
Sister. Well,
she was just cool. She was cool people.
Well, no,
but
you saw
I
her
didn't.
like more of a sister.
No. I didn't recognize it because in my mind it was I could only date the black girls.
Oh, so this was before your
this before I changed
awakening.
over. Yeah, it's before I changed over. It was because of Tina. Is the reason why I had to kind of turn the corner a little bit.
Did she just ever flat out tell you, or was it just always heavily implied?
No, I'm gonna tell you how I knew. So I changed schools mid-flight. So we were in high school. I went to high school at Sierra Vista High School for like a half semester before moving to Lakewood to go to Artesia High School. Half semester. Oh, for people who's watching along at home, that would be in California, but it's about maybe like a 30-minute. Oh, sorry, about an hour distance between each other. She was, when I was getting all my paperwork and stuff to leave, and they were in class, she would walk with me to every single class to make sure I got all my paperwork, and I was the last one. I was the school vice president and all that stuff. Right when I was leaving, she was the person who walked me around, and she was the last person to say bye to me. She didn't have to. She did it because she liked me. And I still didn't recognize it until that point. It's when I got home and got moved into our apartment in Lakewood is when I realized she really liked me like that.
Did she look sad?
Huh? Yes. Like.
So
like
basically,
a kicked puppy?
Yes.
Wait, what?
Like a
kicked puppy.
like sad, like she's losing her best friend or losing somebody who she really liked, and the potential for her to be with somebody.
But
yes, she was there. She was the one who helped me, who told me, "Yo, I should have been with Rashiba." Told me to be with all the, to be with these girls.
But 9 out of 10, she actually liked you.
Yes.
So let me ask you this quick, because you just did some. So at that time, you knew, but you didn't pay attention. You just thought, this is a good friend.
I had the blind.
So basically, you was already intention liking somebody else, but then too, at the same time.
Even when me and we were broken up, I was just like a single kid in junior high school. Or in high school for that matter.
I've been through that situation.
I was in high school.
Like I knew, but I didn't know.
When I was single in high school, it's the same thing. You only kind of have blinders on because all you saw was I should have been dating one of these black girls. I should have been with I should have been with her.
So, did she ever tell you that she liked at the very end?
She couldn't. She couldn't bring.
It would hurt more.
She couldn't bring herself to tell
me even though it would hurt more. If she would have flat out just say, you know what, Cam, I know this is gonna be, I know you leaving on, but at least I want to tell you for my perspective.
You
like,
gotta
hey, I'm feeling you. I like
this
you.
is not an adult thing. This is remember
high school.
This is junior high and high school. So in high school, it's hard for you to kind of really release that, knowing that. There was no chance that I would be spinning the block because there was no chance I would be able to get back to Sierra Vista. As soon as I left Baldwin Park, I've never been back to the campus since. I've never been to it. I've driven by it once.
What would we call it?
I've driven by it once, but I never.
If I really don't know, but that's a movie right there.
Yeah,
or a TV show.
No, I mean, but everybody's life is a movie.
Yeah. Thank you, Kevin.
A lot of them suck.
My life is, and I know y'all think that. Oh well, no. My life is. It's unique, but it ain't special. Everybody got a story. You got a story. You got a story. Y'all both got stories. I'm just willing to tell y'all these things. It's because I'm open up to let you know that this is what happened. This is the reason how I thought. This is the reason why people get in these situations. This is the reason why you have your preferences. So the reason why I have my preferences and who I like, and it's a lot more open now.
It's a Julia Roberts movie.
Yeah, it's a lot. I'm a lot more open.
My best friend's wedding.
Yeah,
that's Cam.
I'm a lot more open to a lot of different things, only because I have a lot of different experiences.
The Nerd Boy Fresh version. But
the Nerd Boy Chronicles.
The Nerd Boy Chronicles. Yeah, I like that. The Nerd Boy Chronicles.
But you just said something important though. You can't predict your past towards your future.
No, and this is why I said I cannot hold my wife to what happened even in my first marriage or even in previous relationships. Because once I started holding them to those type of things, the answer to the question is that you're so reliant upon what happened before. You're so afraid of, I don't want this to happen. I don't want this to happen. I don't want this to happen. And guess what? In my marriage, every single thing that happened in my previous relationships happened in the marriage. every stinking thing. You want to know why? No. You want to know why? You're going to love this one. The Lord has a way of telling you that you're going to go through the same lesson over and over and over again until you figure out what the answer that I am supposed to tell you to get through. Meaning that you're going to go through very identical situations.
Distance?
Huh?
But why the distance?
Why the distance of?
In general.
Why the distance?
Yeah.
So explain what you mean by distance.
Well, I mean distance is if that person who you marry knows that everything is casual and stuff like that, but then distance themselves away from you because they realize something's not completely right. Why distance themselves away from?
Because what they're trying to do, they're trying to figure it out themselves because they have their own things they have to figure out. And see, you gotta understand, when I told you a lot of times when you're in a relationship, especially in this day and age and this era, you're battling a lot of times against people's past. You're not battling like, well, are you good enough or not? No, you're battling against somebody else.
Yeah.
You just don't know it.
Yeah.
Remember when I asked y'all the question last week about would y'all date Kim Kardashian?
Vaguely,
Yeah, so we went through that and stuff, right? And part of that conversation piece was to understand that you're battling against Kim's past. If you would decide to date her and or marry her or whatever it may be. It's the same thing in life. A lot of times especially when y'all get to that point where y'all really get on the market and start dating and you start paying attention to these females, you're going to understand that a lot of these females have a past. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times you are competing not just for her, you're competing against whatever fixation that's in her head of her past.
So, well, that's with anyone.
That's what. Yeah.
That's like,
I know we're gonna hit on
yeah, we're wrapping it up soon, but that's with anyone in anything, whether it be friendships, romantic, or even family. You're always gonna be battling somebody's fantasies.
Right, and you're battling. And the kicker is, it brings everything full circle. You're battling their past. You're battling their preferences. You're battling their fetishes. You're battling all these things. You are battling.
So
against.
basically, what you're saying, the reason why a lot of relationships or marriages don't work because the battling for the past.
You're battling against something that if they're not willing to release, if you are not willing to release your past, that doesn't mean that you forget it. No, you don't forget your past, and you can reference certain things from it. But that doesn't mean that you cannot be so connected to your past that you're not willing to move forward. That's a metaphor for life.
I got one question for you before we wrap this up, though. If you were still married now, Cam?
I'm still married.
I mean, you know what I mean.
No.
You're married to the game, but
I'm not married to the game. I am still married.
I was wondering. I was
still
waiting to see
married.
if you was gonna.
You ain't getting me smacked up tonight.
I was wondering how to just mess with you. What would you fix differently? Like
past marriage, old marriage.
Past marriage.
So what would I fix from the past marriage?
More flowers.
No. What caused my?
I mean, no.
No.
You know what I mean, but
no, I'll tell you. What caused the first marriage to fail? It was basically really twofold of things. One, I was terrible with money, and I told y'all that before. You know,
I know all that, brother.
No. But the reason, but no,
what would you do different?
No. That's what I did different.
Not buy gamer collections.
No, more or less. More or less.
I remember the conversation.
No,
I remember the conversation.
No, but that's important. You want to know why?
Yeah.
Because that was one of the big things. Because when I was putting more money towards that,
the latest Final Fantasy collection.
Yes, literally, Final Fantasy X, Fallout 3 Collector's Edition. Yes, for real.
Those weren't cheap, man.
$150 a pop. I'm not playing with you. But what I'm saying is that I was putting more stock value into that versus putting more stock value into the marriage. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's why I said I had to make a change. So when I'm in my current marriage now, that's the reason why. It's because I had to put more stock value into experiences versus stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to put value on, well, my man got me a Prada bag and a gold bracelet. They put value in stuff. But they're not putting value in spending time with each other and the experience. If you put more value into the experience, now you're starting to click. Because of that was one of the biggest things that I had to change. Now, does that mean that if I would have done that the marriage would work. Maybe, maybe not. But here's what had to happen. The Lord had to have me go through that, go through that 9 years, the divorce, and all the money lost to get to where I am now. Because I had to learn it. Because guess what? If I didn't learn it, guess what? I would have went through it again. And went through it again. And went through it again.
Well, I mean, people tend to forget, ironically enough, that remembering is not a curse. Because there's a lot of people out there like, man, I wish I could forget my past. But the whole reason you remember it is so you don't repeat it.
Right. But see, I don't go through the what if phase. And this is where, and we'll end on this. A lot of people go through the what if. What if I changed this and this would have happened? What if I changed this and this would have happened? Sometimes you got to understand that, yeah, I made a mistake. But I needed to correct said mistake so I could be better for the future now. I needed to correct mistakes I made before so I could actually sit at this table right now to be on a podcast and do it. Because if I would have not made the mistakes earlier, I wouldn't be sitting here now to talk about it. I needed to be here because y'all needed to hear exactly what happens. So y'all understand that, oh, yeah, Cam, he average. He makes mistakes just like everybody else. He ain't perfect. Contrary to what people think that, oh, well, he thinks he's super smarter than everybody else. No, I don't think that. I just give people.
I'm starting to see that.
No, people think. People think that. Well,
it makes me mad because they don't know the real you.
Because they don't get it. They don't want. They see what they see from the outside, and not understand that the reason why I have the knowledge is because I had to fail a lot to get there. That's the difference. I had to fail all these relationships, learn from every single one of them to get me to where I am now. And that's not to say that it's perfect. That just means that I'm learning from it. But other people have to do the same thing. Because the one thing is, when y'all get to that point, y'all won't understand that, you can have all the money, you can have all the fame, but you're going to have to learn a lot of these lessons, all the pig feet. But when y'all get to this point where y'all going to have to get to the point of making these tough decisions with the fame, with the money, with the celeb, because y'all going to get to all that stuff. It's going to be a thing that you're going to have to make real tough decisions, and a lot of your stuff that y'all talk about now is going to be right on the question mark, because everything you say is going to be, because the Lord's going to tell you, you remember when you said you're going to be good with money? I'm going to reward you with a little bit of money. Now it's going to be a question of, are you really going to truly be true to that or not?
I'm not good with money.
Well, that's one. But here's the thing.
No,
but this is part of the learning process. Yeah. You're trying to have your relationship with God, you're trying to be tight with God. Like I said, you're going to be put to the test, and we're going to find out, because that's what the Lord does. He puts you through tests constantly, and if you fail, yeah, you're going to be mad because you failed, but failure gets the training and the teaching. And once you get to that point where, what do I learn from this situation? That's why I could reference all the relationships I had. Because I could reference what I learned from every single one of them. I don't wish I was with Carol. I don't wish I was with Jennifer. I don't wish I was with Tawana. I don't wish I was with Kim. I don't even wish I was with my ex-wife, Berlene. I don't wish that stuff because I knew it had to be for me to be who I'm with now. It's just that simple. Because I had to learn all of it to get to that point. Besides that, y'all, I know this was kind of like a topsy-turvy episode like we always do.
No, it's a teachable moment.
But, I think a lot of it, what it is that y'all have to, when y'all see other people, understand that just because they got money, it's a learning process. Just because they got fame, it's a learning process. Everybody makes mistakes. All have sinned. All is in the growth process. Certain people, when you get the higher up you go, the tougher it is to maintain, the tougher it is to kind of keep your moral boundaries and compasses. But that's the thing that I will try to implore to everybody. The more responsibility, the more money, the more accolades you get, the stronger you have to be in your faith, the better you have to be with decision-making processes, and you want to try to do right by people as much as you can. That's what I would tell y'all. Anywho, as y'all well heard earlier on the podcast, we got Dirty Joe coming in pretty soon. He's going to be coming in June 2nd, which is what it sounds like.
Probably not June 2nd. He said he's going to be in Canada.
We're going to do it earlier. So we're going to do it in May. So we'll do it before he goes to Canada.
We'll figure something out.
One of those.
We doing it before we go to Canada. Forget all that, because you got to do some things in Canada. And don't be blowing... don't be getting crazy.
When he's ready, we gonna have.
Tell him, be careful. Canada's a different animal out
I don't know
there.
what part of Canada he going to, but yeah.
It's a different animal. Shout out to Jason Lang, of course. We got him coming on deck as well. He'll be coming in pretty soon. A couple of weeks from now, we'll get prepped up for that. What else we got on the deck?
My boy, my security homie, my boy Z, gonna be coming on the table with us this month.
Yep.
It's gonna be on the 27th. I'm gonna try to see if I can get him 26th, but most likely 27th.
Yep. We're gonna get Z on the deck
boy
as well.
Z, can't wait to get you on the table.
We're gonna get you on the table. We got some things to talk about as well. Be an honor to get a chance to know you. What else? Hopefully y'all had a good Easter, of course, family. If y'all didn't have it, we said at the beginning, we kind of went through it, but hopefully y'all Easter went well. What else? WrestleMania. Make sure y'all get your WrestleMania up. Make sure y'all watch that. Again, if I don't say it enough, much love to my mom, of course. My mom's birthday is in a couple of days. Got to show love to moms, of course. What else? Shout out to the chickadees. I didn't say hi to the chickadees, but the chickadees is doing well. My son's be coming home in a couple of months from now. My daughter's in school and then like working and stuff, so they doing well. But outside of that, man, we do what we do. Appreciate every single one of the subscribers. We have 107 of y'all. Appreciate all the people who was watching the last episode that we had. We were talking about the Diddy conversation. So hopefully y'all like the content. Definitely continue to like and subscribe and listen to that. We appreciate all of that. I will, what I'm going to do in the next week or so, we are going to repost, the Dirty Joe episode as well as the Jason Lang episode. That's going to be reposted on Spotify. So if y'all want to hear the audio version of that, that will be on there pretty shortly.
Nice.
And that's all we got going on.
I have an opportunity next Sunday, and we won't be talking about that too pretty soon. I'm going to a jiu-jitsu seminar. I'll be training with Haja Gracie.
Oh yeah. So yes. Shout out to Centerline and all y'all kids out there.
Now
man.
This is me.
I know you going, but shout out to them. 'Cause I know that's when you've been training with them. With shout out to them. I gotta make sure I show love. I know you grinding, trying to get your belt up. I know you trying to get your belt up. Shout out to.
So when that happens, I'm gonna let you guys.
Shout out to Paul. He's been in the trenches, really in the trenches working. So if y'all haven't. At one point in time, we have to get down there and do some live footage and see them do their thing. Because if y'all haven't had a chance to really see,
I'm gonna do a jiu-jitsu episode. Yeah. I'll let you guys know.
And we definitely want to, sit down with his training crew and stuff. Because when we do that, we want to do a whole sit down, show the footage, talk to the coaches and trainers and stuff, and really sit down. So we want to do that sometime soon as well. But besides that, y'all, man, we got episode 76 in the bag.
Bang bang.
You did not just double finger and bang bang. First of all,
I want McFully on you, bang bang.
First of all, pause. You can't. Certain things you can't do anymore because it takes the wrong connotation now.
Hey, they don't know who McFully is.
I know, but
I know where you coming
from. A lot of times there's certain things you can't do anymore. There's too much pause-worthy moments.
You can't be like Barney anymore.
Dang, that's another one.
We
didn't even get a chance to go into the Nick. We talked about it in brief, but dog, I wanted to talk about that Nickelodeon
thing. You feel me,
thing.
Vern?
I want to talk about that Nickelodeon thing. If y'all saw that Nickelodeon, man, with old boy, I forgot old boy's name, Dan Schneider or whatever that boy's. That's some deep stuff. If you thought that Diddy stuff was deep, this is worse. I think it's worse.
Oh no, that's way worse.
But anyway, besides that, y'all. This has been episode 76, Laying Pipe with the PVC crew. You know how we get down. For my man Paul, for my man Vic. My name is Cam, a.k.a. Mr. Nerd Boy Fresh. Like always, it's God above everything. Till the next time, family. We'll do it again soon.
Love and respect.